Hi, I'm Taylor Schmidt, and welcome to the second video in my Tricaster tutorial series. In this video, I'll be going over how to set up a live production. Now, this is the live production workspace. You can see in the upper left hand hidden is the file menu, and beneath that are our inputs. Now, these are where you're going to put in your video source to play on your preview or program over here. Right now I have them set to black, but normally they will default to the local line that they're set to. So this one will normally be input 1, but I'll set that up. And then if you want to do that, you just click on this gear icon right here, go to the source, and you can change it to black, OBS VCam, Skype, web stream, or any of the mixes. You're also able to edit the image through coloring, procedural amplification, keying. If you want to key out green screen, you can do that with this, going over there, although I won't do that right now. And you can also crop the source. And then get our camera 2 input. I'm going to set to input 2 there. Now, if you're also connected to any NDI sources, they should show up in here on the server. And you see up in our upper left-hand corner, we have our 2 video setups, but they're kind of small. So we're going to try to fix it, clean up our workspace a little bit so there aren't so many inputs, because you're probably not going to use all of them. So I'm just going to go up here to the workspaces and go to C. So it's just 4, and then we have a little bit more space to work with. You're also able to change what these inputs in the workspace are showing. So you see we have input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4. But below that we have DDR, MixFect 1, and MixFect 2. And our graphics. If you want to change that, if you just right click on the screen, you can go to the different outputs. You can put a different output up there, whether it's mix 1, 2, 3, 4. You can change the inputs that show up. You can put a media effect, a media player, such as DDR1 or 2 preview. You can also preview the mix effects, the buffers, and have custom images inside of it. To the right of our inputs, we have our preview and program window. Our program window is currently what's being output to our stream, our broadcast, or any of our output signals. And the preview is the scene that is going to be on deck, or that you're currently editing down here. And you'll see that down in the lower right-hand corner, these also have some gear icons. And they allow you to edit the output, what audio is going where, what program or video is going to what program, and the resolution. Also allow you to record directly there or grab. Below the inputs and the program and preview windows, we have our serial bus. Now, this is a visualization of the switcher that we have. You can normally it's easier to use the switcher to change between camera views during live production and whatnot. But if you want to, you can use these numbers down here when you're preparing. And you can also choose between bank 1, which is the primary input such as the cameras, the media players, DDR and graphics, and the mix effects. But in bank 2, you have the different buffers and black. And to the right of the bus, we have our scene preview here. It shows you what the background is, so that's the camera you have selected as the primary view. Here's another visualization of the transition switcher. And to the right of that, we have DSK1, DSK2, DSK3, and DSK4. Now these are downstream keys. They allow you to add extra effects after the fact of whatever the video is. So if you have graphics, such as I have in DSK1, I have graphics 1 selected here. And then if I just fade that in, you'll see it's transparent, and we have a nice little title screen there. Same with DSK3 over here. We have a buffer set up. And in DSK4, we have something a little different. we have it's a screen inside of a screen, and you can do that just by going to the bottom here. You can edit all the DSKs just as you would be able to a video input. Edit the position, move it around where you need to. Just like that. Now below the serial bus and the preview of our scene, you have your media players, DDR1, graphics 1, sound, the audio mixer, and the DDR2 graphics and buffers. The switcher and the express tabs aren't so important. The express is just a more simplified version of the switcher tab, and you'll probably just want to keep it on switcher anyway. For DDR1, this is where you'll put any of your videos that you might have that you want to play through. Now, to import videos into the DDR, you want to click on the little plus button here, and you'll have your media browser, which you'll be able to find some previous clips that you've taken from the Tricaster, or if you want to get something off of an external drive, you just go ahead and click on the browse button there. It'll open up the file explorer and just navigate to wherever your flash drive is. And go ahead and add. I'll just go ahead and add that video to it. And there it is. Now DDR2 is the same as DDR1. It's just if you want to have two simultaneous videos playing. You're also able to edit in the DDR panel down here. Let's say I want to split this video of Victor in half. Let's bring that up. And get it to wherever I want to split it. Stop. Right click, and split at current frame. And then you have two different ones, one side being before, and the other being after. And you can mix and match that then with another video from my first tutorial video, say. If you want to cut the beginning and the end from a video, you can set the in or set the out, so that it'll stop there and go to the next one. And then you also have media player settings down here. So you have your forward, your backward, your stop, your play, all pretty standard. Should be pretty easily understood. Play, play, stop, stop. To the right of that, you have your loop button, which if you click on that and it's highlighted, when you get to the end of a video, it'll loop for you, just like that. And to the right of that is the speed, if you want to increase the speed a video plays. You go ahead and change that. And to the right of those, we have our autoplay button. Now, if that's highlighted, once one of these videos gets to the end, it will play the next video in line. Just like that. And to the far right of that, if you have autoplay selected, once it gets to the end of the video, it will automatically switch to whatever is in the preview. So if I want to go to black at the end of this, I set the preview to black. Once it finishes, make sure loop's not selected, and it goes to black. To the right of our DDR1 tab, we have our Graphics 1 tab. This is where you'll find any titles, lower thirds, static images that have an alpha or transparent layer on them. Switch back to the main view. And these are the kind of things that you could put in your DSK. They can be in the main thing. You can input them just the same way as you would with the DDR1 media. Just go up to the media browser. You're also able to do some minor editing to some text. So see, I have my colleague's thesis defense. I'll just change the name to mine. Just like that. If you click on the little letter button here and close, and that'll be saved to that. And you can input the same way as you can with DDR1 and play the same way as you can with DDR1, and autoplay is the same as well. To the far right, we also have a Graphics 2 tab here. Now that's the same as DDR2 in that it operates the same way as Graphics 1 does, only if you want an additional one on screen at the same time. To the right of the Graphics 1 tab, you have the sounds, the sound effects, and that operates the same way as DDR1 and Graphics 1, just with sound files. If you want any sound effects in your show, you can put them right in here and set them to play when you'd like. To the far right, we have our buffers tab. Now this is where you'll put in any animated graphics that would have a transparent layer on them or animated, but not necessarily media videos. So if something wants to play with background, I'll show you. You can see those lights pop up right there. And there are also multiple openings for buffers. So if you want to have up to 16 or 15 buffers, you can have those. You'll just have to change and edit what they are, where they are. To import a buffer, it's relatively similar to the others, except you have to click on the plus button in the upper right-hand corner and then it'll open up. You have some standard ones that come with the Tricaster TC1, or you can make your own outside in After Effects. Different fun things such like fire. Put that in buffer 2, DSK2. Transparent fire effect. And finally, we have the audio mixer. Here is where you can monitor all your audio inputs up to 16, your DDR and sound effects, and your audio outputs as well. You can choose your audio input the same way you can with the video. Click on the gear icon on the input number. Go up to the connection. You can find a local input, either 1, 2, 3, 4. New tick, NDI audio default. Follow the videos, or pull a mix from the Tricaster. You're also able to adjust the levels and do processing with an equalizer, a compressor, noise gate, and then macro triggers, as well as routing. And you can do that for all of these inputs. And for the outputs, if you click on the gear icon, you can choose your primary audio output. And also do any master equalizing or compressing. Now, finally, let's say you want to set up a complicated scene beforehand, so you can switch to it. You have your mix effects, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will open up an additional bus to prepare a scene. So let's say I want mix effect 1 to have a scene in the upper left-hand corner. I'll take an input and put it into the first key. Now these aren't downstream keys, these are just keys because they would be done before. I'll have input 2 as the picture-in-picture. Here, I'll reset this. And I want to make it a picture-in-picture, so I'll edit the position. I'll bring down the scale and move it up to the right or to the left-hand corner, just like that. Also crop it. And apply borders and edges. Apply that one. And you'll see the background is camera 1, key 1 is camera 2. I can also add, I'll fade in this buffer. And then even if we have it set to camera 1 and we want to switch to mix effect 1, we don't have to do all these downstream keys at the same time. We can just go ahead and take it from there. Now that's it for this Tricaster TC1 tutorial video. In the next video, I'll be going over how to execute a live production using the switcher and the live production system.